Welcome back. Today we are studying the second chapter of class 7th NCERT Polity book. And this chapter talks about healthcare facility in India and what the state government, that is government of India and various state governments are doing to improve it. What are the various aspects related to the health system, the difference between public and private healthcare system, why people in India have been suffering for a lot because of poor health facilities, and what the government has done to address this issue, and have we arrived at some better conclusion because of the attempts made by the government. So let us discuss these things with our second chapter of the NCRT. So here we go. This is what the book talks about: health system. And see, health actually is there is this line given here: Constitution supports a view that right to health is an aspect of our fundamental rights, and its provisioning is rather unequal. Which means that there is a constitutional promise that people of all the citizens of India will have access to quality healthcare. But then, when we see it in terms of how it has materialized, not much satisfactory result was seen for a long period of time. So let us proceed with the role of government in health. And what actually health means, if I ask you, health means our ability to remain free of illness and injuries. That's a very shallow definition. It's not only difference of absence of injury and disease. One might not be having any injury or disease, still the person might not be healthy. So health is something beyond absence of illness and disease. So they again write that we often ignore is the fact that each of the above situation, like this illness and injury, is related to health. We need to think of other factors that affect our health. If people get clean drinking water or pollution free environment, they are likely to be healthy. So things that enhance your healthy living, like good food and clean and safe drinking water, clean and neat environment, so on and so forth. So if people are not getting these things, they are prone to health vulnerabilities. That is why it said that these various aspects of life are part of health. Now, again, they have given some examples here. Now, what actually is public healthcare system? Uh, System of hospital and health center run by the government can be termed as public healthcare system. It has the ability to look after the health of a large section of its population scattered over hundreds of thousands of villages. India has so many villages. So more than 600 districts, and every district having so many villages. It runs into thousands and thousands. So all these far-flung remote villages, they don't have nice private hospitals. So it is the government, the onus falls on the government to make sure that people in these remote far-flung areas in the hinterlands of India have access to quality healthcare through what is called public healthcare system. Now, there are some issues involved here, and again, a pictorial, a cartoonic representation is given here. Now, again, I'll sum it up for you what it is. There are two friends, Aman and Ranjan. Ranjan comes from a well-off family. Aman is not from a so well-off family. His parents are poor. Both of them fall ill, and both of them went to the hospital. After they are treated, after they are back in the best of their health, they meet in the school. And Ranjan, who is from a rich family, tells his experience to Aman that he went to a private hospital and it was like a five-star hotel. Actually, if you go to any of these five-star hospitals, not actually five-star, but all these multi-speciality hospitals, you must be aware of the names. And God forbid if you any of us ever need we arise that we need to go there. Let us all remain very healthy. So what is that the service provided is absolutely awesome, but then the price that they charge is again very exorbitant. And this is what Ranjan tells Aman in this cartoon story, that the receptionist was very courteous. It was such a huge facade was there, and neat and clean building, and music was playing along. Nurse came, she told me few jokes. I could not even realize the pain when she injected injection to me. Doctor was very courteous, and it made him feel very comfortable. Now Aman says the same thing because he went to the government hospital. I said we had to wait for a long queue in the OPD, and doctor was surrounded with many patients, and he asked us to quickly give me the report. He looked into the report. There was another doctor who saw the report, and then they prescribed few medicines and told me that there is nothing to worry. Take these medicines, you will be all right. So the crux here is that both of them are providing health. The patients have been treated in both the cases, but in the public healthcare system, in the government hospital, it was quite a task because of the long queue and doctor being surrounded by many patients. But it charged hardly anything, maybe 10 to 15 or 20 rupees. Private hospital took 500 rupees and did things exactly the way the government hospital did. The treatment was similar, but then it was a hassle-free treatment. So when you spend money, you get hassle-free treatment. Is what this cartoon tells us. Now, this disparity is here because private healthcare is not functioning on the same lines as public healthcare. Now, an elaborate definition of public health service. Public health service is a chain of health centers and hospitals run by the government. They are linked together so that they have both rural and urban areas and can also provide treatment to all kinds of problems from common illness to special services. Health service is called public for many reasons because it caters to the large masses, public in general. In order to fulfill its commitment of providing healthcare to all citizens, the government has established these hospitals and health centers. See, the thing here is that private is driven by profit motive. Okay, for a private sector, whether a hospital or any, be it a school or a college or any other thing, a private bank maybe, you don't see a private bank in remote areas. You see State Bank of India there. So that is a government bank again. So likewise, government hospitals have to ensure public health welfare. That is why they operate in the remote far-flung areas. Now, the constitutional promise is it is the primary duty of the government to ensure the welfare of the people and provide healthcare facilities to all of us. And government has to safeguard the right to life to every person. Even the Supreme Court has said that the difficulty that a particular character from this chapter, Hakim Sheikh, had to face could have cost him his life. If a hospital cannot provide timely medical treatment to a person, it means that this protection of life is not being given. So public, what is then private health facilities? uh, Private health facility includes a large number of doctors which run their own private clinic, and registered medical practitioners are there in the rural areas. Urban areas have a large number of doctors, many of them providing specialized services. So there are hospitals and nursing homes that are privately owned, which means it belongs to a particular person. Government has actually no role to play there. They decide where they are going to operate, whom how they are going to treat, and what would be the fees that they will charge. If the patient agrees, then he will pay the fees and they will do the treatment. Again, it largely boils down to the money that you are willing to spend. So healthcare and equality we see is inadequate. Barely 20% of population can afford all the medicine that are required during and illness. However, this data has changed because we have had something in this country which we'll talk about at the end of this chapter. So for poor, every illness in the family is a cause of great anxiety and distress. That's actually true. And what is worse is that this situation tends to happen again and again. Those who are poor are in the first place are undernourished. Yes, many of the disease results from undernourishment and malnourishment because many women in the rural areas turn anemic because they cannot take proper diet. That makes them vulnerable to many disease. And then the lack of money that prevent people from getting proper medical treatment. Again, women have been quoted here. Of course, they are into that vulnerable section in the countryside. They are not taken to doctor in a proper manner. Women health concerns are considered to be less important than the health of men in the family. That is some additional prejudice that has been prevailing. We have seen these things in the classics NCERT book. So what needs to be done? There's this Kerala experience is given here. 40% of the entire state budget was given to Panchayat. Again, see how democratic decentralization works. It was delegated and you take call for yourself, you decide how it is to be done. And this made possible for a village to make sure that proper planning was done for water, food, women development and education. Water supply schemes were checked, working of schools and Anganwadis. You have to read them in more details later on. was ensured and specific problem of village were taken up. Health centers will improve and all these help to improve the situation. So a Desi approach has been given here of Kerala. Kerala does well in healthcare system. Now this Costa Rican approach. See, we will see it, then we'll analyze it. The main reason for this can be it is one of the healthiest countries in Central America, found in Costa Rican constitution several years ago. Costa Rica took a very important decision and decided not to have an army. India cannot do that. Costa Rica is an Central Asian country surrounded by lovely neighbors. The sort of beloved neighbors that we have, we would cease to exist within a week if we do not have an army. So, how do you have a healthy citizenry? How do you have improved healthcare system for citizens? For that, your citizens have to survive. So the lovely neighbors would not allow you to survive. So we cannot do that, that we will shun the army and spend. Often there is a debate that we are spending so much on defense and not much on education and health. There is no opportunity cost involved. These are not mutually exclusive terms. It's not like we can divert money from defense to healthcare. We have to make provisions for both. Indian problems are different than Costa Rican problems. So the solution would of course differ. However, an example has been given in your book. Not much to inspire from that. It does not inspire much confidence in Indian model. So these are the things that we have seen here. Now, at the end of the chapter, I would tell you something more. Because of this dismal, uh, performance of public healthcare system for a period of more than 70 years post-independence in India, government of India the current government came with a very ambitious project called Ayushman Bharat. Now it gives universal healthcare benefit to all the people of India, household of India. This is something that we'll cover under when we'll study current affairs, or maybe in your paper 3 where you study about this healthcare system. So the problem has been addressed through this scheme. However, it's a very new scheme, hardly a year or two. So how well it fares remains to be seen. However, an attempt has been made to check those disparities between public and private healthcare system. So this is what I had to share with you today. Please revise this, and any issues, then please let me know in the group itself. Take good care and study well.